By the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify the components of a table, create a table using the Create Table dialog box, use and apply table styles as well as quick styles, and customize row display. So let's jump right into it and explore tables to see how Thomas can work smarter with smaller sets of data by creating, formatting, and modifying tables. A table is made from adjacent columns of data with a unique label or heading for each column. Columns and rows may be added to a table just as you would when working with a normal range. Let's look at the header row option. You can include a header row that displays the column headers or names for each column in your table by clicking the header row checkbox. For each header within the header row, you will see the header row drop-down arrow. You can use it to access filter and sort commands. Now, when you're working with a large table, it may be hard to visualize and understand your data. But if you click the banded rows checkbox, you can easily differentiate between each row that appears within your table. Let's suppose you want to display the results of calculations that are done on a column-by-column basis. To accomplish that, you can click the Total Row checkbox. When you select Total Row, it also includes the Total Row drop-down arrow. If you click the drop-down arrow, you can quickly access functions that can perform calculations on your table data. Finally, if you want to emphasize the first column, you can select the First Column checkbox. This option applies a bold effect to the first column of your table to differentiate it from other columns. And if you apply the Last Column option, it will do the same thing to the last column of data. The easiest way to create a table is to use the Create Table dialog box to convert existing ranges of data into a table. To access this dialog box, select the cell range that you would like to convert into a table and then click Insert Table. This will open the Create Table dialog box. You will see the selected range using absolute cell references in the text box, "Where is the data for your table?" You can enter a different range into the provided field or select one with your mouse by clicking the Cell Selector button. If you click the My Table Has Headers checkbox, it indicates that the first row in the selected range contains column names. If your data does not have headers or column names, Excel inserts a header row and gives the columns generic names of column followed by a sequential number. When you click the OK button, Excel converts the selected cell range into a table. Alright, we've covered how to create tables, which can help Thomas focus on smaller sets of data for his sales data project. But it would be nice if he could show that data in a more organized and professional manner. To accomplish that, let's explore how Thomas can format tables. Let's start with the Table Design Contextual tab and briefly explore the various groups, commands, and options that they contain. Our Properties group, the Tools group, the External Table Data group, the Table Style Options group, and the Table Styles group. Now let's explore each one of them. Whenever you're working with the controls on this tab, you can modify just about any aspect of your table. In the Properties group, you can view and edit the current table's name. You should always name your table so that you will know what it is. You can also redefine the table size using the Resize Table command. Within the Tools group, you can remove duplicate values from your table using the Remove Duplicates command. You can use the Summarize with Pivot Table command to create a pivot table out of the current table. Similar to cell styles, table styles are pre-configured formatting options that can be applied to tables. With table styles, you can quickly apply a splash of color to your tables and in some cases enhance their readability. While you do have the option of configuring your own table style, you can also select from a variety of pre-configured quick styles. You can find all of these quick styles within the Table Styles group of the Table Design tab. If you click the More arrow within the Table Styles gallery, it expands it to show more options. When you click any style option inside the Table Styles gallery, it gets applied to the current table. Finally, to clear an applied style, you can click the More arrow within the Table Styles gallery and then click Clear. The table is then displayed with no style at all. You can customize rows in a table through the enabling or disabling of banded rows and the inclusion of total rows. If you want to toggle banded rows, first select the table that you would like to work with and then click the Banded Rows checkbox in the Table Style Options group. Banded rows are enabled by default to make the data easier to read, but you can always choose to disable it. If you click the Total Row checkbox in the Table Style Options group, it inserts a total row at the bottom of the table. When the total row is shown, you will see that it appears bold and one or more of the columns will display a total. To create a table in Excel, there are many ways that you can easily add or remove table rows and columns. Let's see how you perform these actions. You can add rows at the bottom of the table by simply selecting any cell immediately below the table and start typing your data. When you're done, you can press Enter or Tab or select a cell outside of the table and Excel automatically expands the table to include the new row. The new row will include any formulas that are used in the table. Similarly, if you select a cell immediately to the right of a table and enter data, Excel automatically expands the table to include the new column. You can add or remove rows and columns by right-clicking a cell in the table and selecting from the available options in the menu. Remove duplicates. It is true that duplicate values in data can be a common occurrence, especially in large data sets where data has originated from multiple sources, and they can be difficult to identify when dealing with many columns and rows. It is important, however, to identify and remove duplicates from your data to ensure accuracy and that your analyses are correct. While there are many strategies for identifying and removing duplicate data, Excel has a built-in function to remove duplicate values from tables or ranges that can be very effective. Let's look at how Thomas can use the Remove Duplicates function. Click anywhere inside of your table, then click Table, Design, Remove Duplicates. You can also access this function by clicking Data, then Remove Duplicates when working with ranges. These actions will display the Remove Duplicates dialog box. Now you can select the columns that contain the duplicates that you would like to remove. Please note that by default, all of the columns in the table will be selected. Make sure you use caution when selecting only some of the columns, as it may create a situation where you can unintentionally delete data that is not a duplicate. After you select the columns, click OK in the Remove Duplicates dialog box. Any duplicate value that is found is then removed. An information box appears that informs you of the number of duplicate values found and how many unique values remain.